So, yeah, I haven't seen your Zix in your conversation, so I'm coming in about as with the opinions I would have had before starting this.
How dare you?
I guess we should start. Would you want to start from the perspective of physical or digital?
I want to start with the. We'll go mad. We'll start with the digital perspective first and see. Take me. I don't know what we're doing here, Martian. You control this conversation because I am. I'm. Yeah, go on. You take it away.
I'm of the opinion that there are, of course, there are ways you can have digital and own the product. I can think of the main ways I'm aware of is uh, emulation, which is like backing up your physical games, which is just an extension of physical, but that still is. It's we're being pedantic, but it is digital in that sense. And then there's DRM free, where you don't have to have access to any kind of software to you don't have to be logged into Steam if you have a game that's DRM free.
Yep.
There are some Steam games that are DRM free, but that doesn't tell you. You're gonna have to figure that out yourself.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
But there are certain ways you can know it's DRM, and I say no because there are some exceptions. And that is, I personally use itch.io and GOG. And I'm aware Humble Bundle does, but it's kind of like you're not gonna get. It's unlikely. Like there's not many.
Yeah. Also, Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime for Amazon Gaming, their launcher is actually DRM free as well, which is surprising.
And of course, there's a difference here. It's just like you have to make sure you actually have the digital stuff in your computer because you can have it so that it's because if it's hosted on the server, that's never good. Don't have it hosted on the server. Have it hosted on your device. Have it on your device. I mean, but then you have to make sure you have it on your device, because it can be taken, afterwards. Like if the website's down, then you can't download it anymore.
Yeah,
but you can still. Well, actually, I think GOG has backup installers that you can download those. But the point is well, then you'd lose access to those installers. You have to make sure it's on your device. And in a way, that's kind of like how it is with digital media, where it's just like, if you switch console, then you can't access those games anymore with digital media because you don't, you can't access the store. If you can't access the store and you don't have the game, then you've lost it.
I think. Sorry, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
It is a lot easier to not lose your files on PC because you can just put on a hard drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about what I was going to say. Is as long as you can have your files on a hard drive and backed up on multiple hard drives, as opposed to having your stuff just stuck on one thing that's going to die, and then you better hope to God that the fucking thing you want is still on the server to download and put back on the new hard drive you replace it with or something. As long as you can back it up and have as many backups as you want of it, and you can launch it perpetually forever on a certain device, or because I know my issue with GOG and stuff like that is and PC games in general is and I know it's kind of mitigated now with x86 architecture just being kind of the norm now, but going back and playing older games is such a fucking difficult task on PC a lot of the time.
And I know this quite well. I spent a lot of time testing my old games that I get through GOG because it's half the time they don't even work properly.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done this, but I have seen the intro to Soul Reaver maybe 10 plus times because I have to constantly check because you have to go through the first cutscene every time, right?
Yeah.
And then I have to go, did this slight change I make actually have an effect on the gameplay? Oh no, okay, it still doesn't work.
Yeah. Sometimes
I got it working.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just easier to emulate those old games from consoles, which is what I end up doing most of the fucking time. Which is crazy because you've bought this fucking game. You bought a game and it doesn't work. That's crazy to me.
It's my opinion, and the way I look at it is I like to always make sure I buy a game first. I find a method of buying it.
Yeah.
Because my way of looking at it is if I own the game, I should be able to have a copy of it. But also I'm saying this because emulation isn't illegal technically if you actually have the files, if you back up your own stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. Just saying.
You wouldn't steal an old lady, would you?
You wouldn't steal a font, by the way. Oh, anyone who gets that.
Yeah. So you brought up something about physical ownership being harder now, I guess, due to patches and versions
I
of
think it's
games constantly
progressed.
changing.
I think it's progressively gotten worse.
Yeah.
Back around the PS2 era, and even like before that, like N64, right? Like there were like, for example, Mario 64 had another version come out that patched backwards long jumping, which was a really important trick for speedruns. And it's like, even for example, like I'm not sure. I think Jack X had a memory leak issue, didn't it?
It did.
So
It corrupted memory
you
cards on its Black
you
Label.
can only really, and I've tried finding a black label for collective purposes, and I can only find platinum, and it's like, damn it.
Yeah.
But it's like there are examples of patching back then, but it was always tied to creating something new physically. You had to make a new disc, you had
Yeah.
to make a new cartridge. But when PS3 kicked in, it's like, well, now we can just have it be like, digital, so you don't have to worry about it. So it's like, and this is again, it's like it's now digital. You don't actually own it because it's downloading from the servers onto your console. So now all you own is on the disc. And I'm actually going to say that I think I don't want to mention this just yet. No, I'm rephrase this. I wasn't going to mention this during the comment because Node Rage was having a mini conversation with me, and I'm like, I don't want this to get a bit out of, I don't want this to balloon, because that was the point of this to begin with.
Yeah.
And he made a good point where it's just like there are re-releases of games as well, and that would do what those old games did on N64 and that, where it's like the content is now being retroactively applied to the disc. So it's like, yeah, that's fair, but my rebuttal is how many games get reprints? It kind of is based on like which games get that treatment. So it does work for a lot of cases, but it doesn't work for every case. So.
Yeah. And I love those reprints as well. As much as everyone complains about them, I do love when like we get a director's cut, like a PS5 version of it, like a Death Stranding director's cut, for example, on PS5.
I think he was referring to like platinum versions and that.
Oh, and platinum versions and stuff. Oh yeah, like greatest hits versions.
Yeah, no, platinum's PS2.
Yeah, no, and that's fair too. But what I actually sorry, go on.
Yep. Sorry to the American audience. I use a different system than you here. So.
But the thing about a director's cuts and stuff, and like, yeah, you're double dipping, but it's fine because like you don't need to buy them straight away. You buy them when they're cheap, but that's all the DLC on the disc as well. That's everything just printed on the disc when it's done properly. And what I like is that Sony usually do physical good. Like 90% of the time, Sony's physical releases are still to this day are great gold masters on the disc, fully playable. A few bugs here and there, but if you play it in 20 years, you'll still enjoy it. Which is getting more and more rare.
And I think also nowadays it's also more important that we make sure we have those extra releases, because the whole update culture has gotten worse and worse and worse. Like so many games are relying on having to be patched day one, and it's like your disc is already outdated.
Yeah,
as soon as you put it in.
Or like in Microsoft's case, where they fucking barely print the game on the disc, which is just completely redundant.
Oh, that reminds me. The Reignited trilogy didn't have Spyro 3 on the. It's not a cartridge technically, but on the I'll call it card. Because the Switch's cards are not considered. They're not considered cartridges. We just call them cards, I guess.
With Reignite Trilogy as well, the original release on PS4 didn't have Spyro 2 or 3. It just had Spyro 1. They did re-release it later, but the issue with all the games on the disc, because they found a way to compress it, but the issue with that is there's no easy way to tell the difference between the prints. So you're basically just fucking... There is a way to tell, but you need to have it physically in your hand to tell. So finding it online is going to be a nightmare.
That reminds me. So I have a Wii, so I can play GameCube games. So I went through and went, okay, what GameCube games do I want to own? And one of them, I don't know why I was compelled to get this, but it's called I'm sorry to all the Star Fox fans out here at Star Fox Adventures. I don't know. I think part of it was the whole like history of like Dinosaur Planet. I really found that I like what ifs, like what if this came out kind of thing, and that kind of overlaid onto that. But there's like two different versions of the game, and one of them has like a special like language, like dinosaur language, so you can access in the settings. And apparently, like you can only really tell until you pop the disc in and check. So it's like, okay, well, I didn't get that, so I'm not getting that. But then it's like, well, then you already have two different versions of the games, and how do you distinguish which is which?
Yeah. No, that's make it easy to tell. Like that I guess that's the thing to
Yeah,
take away
just
from this. Like mark your
slap a
discs.
red border on it. Yeah,
Exactly.
slap a red border on it. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of ugly personally, which is why I personally go for black labels because I like that as a collector.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, that is technically a better version when it comes to like what's on the disc.
What I
I
do,
guess now I know that.
I do like what they're doing with the Crash and Sane trilogy because they did add new levels to that, like via downloads. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
when they re-released the Crash trilogy, they did label include Stormy Ascent and Future Tense, which I did appreciate.
I I I did ask. I actually forgot that I don't. I haven't finished the relic for that one for Stormy Ascent.
Me neither.
I forgot about it. I got every other gold. I
Yeah,
think, or platinum. Yeah, every other platinum, and I don't know what compelled me to do it. Also,
you got every
slight tangent.
platinum.
Apart from Stormy Ascent,
Oh,
obviously.
you wild man, Jesus! I
I haven't recorded any.
gold tapped me out.
Source, trust me, bro, because I haven't recorded this.
um,
There are some examples, and I'm gonna riff on GOG a little bit. I'm gonna make some complaints on GOG because there's a few games that a few naughty things that make it so that I don't think GOG is the perfect solution.
mhm.
Um, apart from the so many games not working because they're old, but that's um, I think two examples at least that really peeved me. One of them was I'd played there's a game that I was interested in called Caravan Sandwich. Um, and okay, so there's a whole system you have to go through to make sure that your game is actually not using the GOG's launcher if you download through the GOG launcher, because the icons automatically point you through the GOG launcher.
Mhm.
So you have to basically go into the files and then find. Actually, I think the way I do it is you go into the files. There's a thing that says launch game, and then you open the the file location that's in, and it points you to the exact spot that it tells you that points toward. It's the exact same exe file that boots the game, and then you have to boot it through that, and then you can tell that it's DRM free. I mean, usually it is because that's kind of the mantra of GOG. But with Caravan Sandwich, I did that, and it told me I needed to have the GOG launcher on. And this was done without being connected to GOG at all. And because of GOG's policy, I feel like this was actually instated by the people who made the game, which pisses me off a bit.
Mm,
So I refunded it, obviously.
yeah.
And the second one, I'm gonna make a comment on a game that I actually really like. It's one of my favorite. It's in my favorites. I don't know how high or how low, but it's a game called Tetrabot and Co. And this isn't technically, they didn't do anything like horrible. Like they didn't like. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't. Go. Oh, you have to have this on DRM. No, what happened was I have the game on Steam, right? So I know how the game plays, how it's supposed to play. And then I played it on GOG, and it was really glitchy. Like, it was really strange. And I was wondering if, like, there was some issue with my computer, so I booted the Steam version up to check. There was something wrong with the GOG version. And I fixed it by taking the files from the Steam version and putting it in the fucking GOG one, and then it worked perfectly.
What the fuck?
What that probably means is to get the Steam version's DRM free. It probably means that. But it's like, why is because there's a weird disconnect between GOG releases and Steam releases. Sometimes you're not actually getting the same version. Sometimes it's worse.
Yeah.
I think Dragon's Dogma, and this is like not really the fault of anyone. It's to do with the fact that the game interacts with Steam's features. So the GOG version of Dragon's Dogma is missing features because it can't interact with the Steam stuff. So it's like, well, okay, sure.
That's
Sorry.
crazy. So like, did they integrate Steam stuff into the game? like
Yeah, there's
natively.
some sort of online thing.
That's
Which
terrible
is
design
impressive.
though.
I mean,
That's horrible design. If you're like if
I
the
can't
online stuff is
understand.
completely reliant on Steam.
Mm, yeah, I can't understand how it works. Oh, my screen. I'm not doing anything on my end, so um, my
Oh, your
screen, my
screen,
screen went black.
your screen
Um,
went to sleep.
I got jump scared. Um, like, I can't understand how it works, but it's like that. It feels like you kind of like do something and then go, oh crap, now we can't do this. It feels more like it was an accident than anything.
Yeah.
Um, but I think they probably, I don't know, like there's a lot of online functionality that GOG doesn't really have because they don't have their own servers. You can make it work, um, but if you want to work with online, it's a lot more complicated.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I love DRM free. I don't love DRM. Chat clip that. Um, I love DRM free, but I know there are issues.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I love DRM. DRM is my favorite thing.
Oh, okay.
I love just having to check in like a bold child with these companies every day to make
Mm.
sure the thing I owned so they can verify that I do indeed own it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, they got worse memory than all than us, don't they? They're just like, do you have the game? Let me just check this right quickly. No, there are issues with it as well from a like in terms of like it's easy to like. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that because it tells people how to get their game for free, and it's like I don't know
I
about
don't
that
care.
or that.
You can do that. I don't care. This is the Wild
I'm
West.
not I'm not condoning this, but because DRM free doesn't require you to have access to the servers, you can just get it and then kind of like refund it and still have it.
If your friend is going through a
Whoops.
rough time and can't afford a game, that's a good tip for them. Also, you can just send the files to your friend
Oh yeah,
if
yeah.
they can't afford it. Again, not
Like
condoning
oh
this. Support the industry if you are capable of supporting the industry. Support the games you
yeah.
like. But if you need to do what you got to do, like don't go fucking not don't rid yourself of enjoyment when there is ways to do it.
Uh, I have my own way of approaching it, and for me, if I couldn't afford it, I wouldn't get it, and that's my decision.
Yeah,
But I'm not going to tell the people what to do. I'm not going to say that you have to follow my way of doing it. It's like if you don't want to do that or you can't do that, I mean, some people can't even have these games.
yeah.
And actually, I don't know if I should say this, but there was a whole thing about there was a game that I couldn't get access to in my country. Um, and then my way of doing it was like, okay, turn on a VPN, buy it,
Hmm.
get fucked. Um,
The thing, yeah, and like, here's the thing: if you're doing anti-consumer practices like region locking your fucking games, I have absolutely no sympathy for taking money out of their pocket
oh,
for doing that.
that's not the problem with the creator. That's the problem with my country.
Yeah.
Um,
What game was that?
Hotline Miami too.
Oh, why was that banned? What the fuck? Australia's
Drug usage,
weird,
I
dude. I
think.
remember they used to ban all the Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat games as well. I was like, you allow GTA, but you don't allow the fucking Mortal Kombat games? Like, what the
No.
fuck?
We tried banning GTA.
They
We
tried.
tried, and by we I don't mean me because you know I don't give a shit. Um,
Crazy. Does Australia
hmm.
even exist?
uh, I have authority to say it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, hold on. So yeah, it's funny. You got both of these videos of Australians.
Yeah, you and Zeke
Uh,
the thing is, I was saying this to Zeke, like, the Irish are basically Australians now because most of our countries moved to Australia.
what about America though? I mean, it's kind of
We
both.
either are. Well, it's hard to get into fucking America now. But we either and like our the two places we export our people to the most basically is Australia and Canada. They're the two
Yeah,
main
see,
ones.
we're in the food export. You guys are in the people export.
Yes, there you go.
It's better than than exporting your potatoes to the British.
That is very true. That is very true. But on the I'm very aware that we're getting very on the edge of getting political here. So let's dial it back to
Okay. Well,
physical games.
I will say one thing that will help tie everything together,
Oh,
and that
okay.
is I am part Irish, so
Oh, nice.
that's why I'm green. No, it's not actually. I just like green.
I do like your new Clippy avatar.
Uh, uh, yeah, I would appreciate it if you have my basic icon on the video because it would make it a
Cool.
bit less complicated, like weird for people. Because I'm probably going to change it back eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Cool, cool.
yes, I'm a Clippy.
Clippy.
Chat Clippy that.
Damn. I want to talk about the weird perpetual video game versions that we're never going to be able to get back again
Hmm.
because of updates.
Yeah, yeah, because well, the way I look at it is, say if the store will never go down, you'll always have access to the store. Let's say hypothetically that's a future we have.
Hmm.
A dystopian like didn't say look at it. You'll if you have the disc, hypothetically the disc is still a thing. So you have the disc and you have the digital access, then you'll always have access to the original print, any other prints that will happen, like physical prints, and then you'll have access to the most recent version. But everything in between
Yeah.
usually gets lost. I think there is an exception. I think Steam has something interesting with that. But that's kind of really funky, and I've only done it once. Um, I went back on a version in Pseudo Regalia because they had an infinite jump, and I wanted to fuck around with it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I even got it working, honestly. But speedrunners have got it working, so it's possible. Of course, speedrunners would know that they're wizards.
um.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's certain. I mean, Zeke brought this up in the video. Like there's certain versions of the Jack PS4 ports, like the fucking really fucked up PAL version.
I
That
really, really want to have access to these original versions of Jack 2 where you just kind of turn the camera and everything just vanishes.
Yeah.
That's just so
Yeah.
cool. I got a picture. I probably don't have it on this device, but I had a picture of Jack 2 and I posted it somewhere. I go through Discord. It was from I think it was in the area around and you would know this because you were playing Jack 2 recently.
Yeah.
It's that area in the temple area where you have the precursor metal platform with the rhino lurker, and it's
Okay.
after that.
Oh, okay.
And the walls kind of like flicker in and out. And then you can see it's looking at any old gameplay. Like the walls just kind of like half vanishing, and sometimes you can see like weird streaks
Yeah.
in the background because you see parts of the background and you can see pieces of the textures from. And I had Jack. He was sitting in the middle. He had his gun. He was in a cool pose, and the background was just kind of like completely and totally fucked. But it kind of like had some kind of like it kind of anchored the scene was anchored to Jack as the center, and it drew the eye in that way to where it looked like some kind of like insane replication of like an actual poster.
That's
Um,
amazing.
I'll probably I don't know.
Yeah, send it
I'll
on when you
probably I
find
can
them. I want to see it now.
yeah I can send it to you afterwards and you can like show it on the screen. Ooh, look at this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cool.
Um, but yeah, it's like and you can't have access to that anymore, can you?
No.
Because Sony is a lot more stingy with letting you. I mean, I don't think Sony lets you do any of that sort of stuff. Like,
No, they
like
definitely don't. They don't. No. You
mm,
the downloads on the PS Store are the latest versions.
yeah. I do personally think that the way I look at it is, I think we have to. I think the whole update culture is like really not good. Um, like for example, like I just I grew up in a time where games just weren't updated for the
mhm.
most part. There were some rare examples, but I started on the PS2 and PS1 by proxy, and I got a game, and then it worked, and then everything on there was probably going to be what was always on there.
Yep.
So basically, it's like I feel like I like it when games do that, and I'd prefer if more people did that. I'm not going to say that you should do that because I'm not like I don't force that, but I think that's a better way to make games. At the very least, make it so that the game is complete on
Yeah.
release in the sense of like if there's anything that crops up later on that has to be dealt with, by all means, but you should not rely on the game post launch to fix it. I mean, early access is a bit different, and I'm not talking about that because that's a different can of worms entirely. We can get to that, but for this point, if you're making a game and the point is to release it, then please just make sure it is in a state that can be released.
Yeah.
I
agree.
don't want to see any of this like day one patch bullshit. I would prefer just to be the game in a perfect world. And if I had to make games, because I'm not there yet, Sag, I would basically just get the game out there, and I wouldn't really update it at all because I feel like yes, the game may have glitches, but if it's not really getting in the way of anything, and it's just something that can be used for dedicated players, I think it would be insulting, at least from my point of view, to take it away from the players. I think if they found it and they've figured out how to utilize it, then they, as a community, have earned it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my way of looking at it, and that's just based on the kinds of games that I grew up with and the kinds of experiences that I have with games. Because I do like stuff with glitches all the time. That's one of my favorite ways of interacting with games.
Yeah.
So of course I'm biased.
Cool. Yeah, no, and I completely agree with everything you said there, and maybe it's old man me and just wanting the era I grew up with back. But I think like even if you're making the game better with patches and stuff, you're still you are still kind of ruining the original vision of the game. Like if you're at, what are you doing, cat? My cat is typing. You are still
your cat was an opinion as well.
Yeah. You're still kind of ruining so the game release in a certain state. That should be the game to me. That's it. That's the game. It's just a single player offline game. That's the game you released. That's the game, and that's just how I think about it. And maybe that's just a really outdated opinion on it. But for me, like if you're patching the game after the fact, after people have already bought the disc you've printed, and some people don't have access to update that, then that version of the game should be the game.
Yeah. No, I really just feel like the way that the way that people who play the game interact with it, like it's I don't know, this is probably probably a bit rude to say, but I feel like you as a designer you should be able to like be okay with the fact that your game isn't perfect and people are breaking it.
Yeah.
I feel like if that need to change it, I understand it from a design perspective, but I also think that it's I think it's just kind of I don't like it because it's like you're not comfortable with your game just being as it is. Like you feel like it has to always be fixed. And I get it. I'm like that a bit as well, but just let it be, you know?
I know, like the fucking this really pissed me off. Do you know the Spider-Man remaster on PS5 that you could only get originally when you fucking pre-ordered Miles Morales or something? And then they eventually re-release it, but only digitally. And in that version, that's the only version with the now canon fucking face for Peter. So now, if you play the original PS4 version, and then you go to the PS5 version, everyone's fucking face is different. Peter's face is different. Mary Jane's face is different. Like, what the fuck happened? Why is this? Are these different people?
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a disconnect there.
Because like it's also like the games are more realistic than a lot of those older games, so that difference isn't like it's not a hardware difference. It's like it's where we've made it better so we can have more detail. It's just a different face.
Yeah, exactly.
Jak 2 is Jak 2 is a terrible game, guys.
I can't believe you said that, Martian.
I didn't say anything.
I can't believe you said that.
I hope you didn't like put a piece of audio of me saying that Jak 2 is bad.
What other famous examples are there of games where they change something for no reason? And like,
sorry.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go for it.
So I was never really horribly upset with remakes and remasters. For me, I'm like, what's the point of it if the game's already playable? For example, like the whole Last of Us stuff. It's like, do you
Yeah.
really need to play the game again? But one thing that really, really pissed me off, and it's probably because it happened to a game that I personally have a lot of attachment to, was the Horizon stuff. Why did they do this to Horizon?
Yeah.
Okay, the second game, and this is, I genuinely believe that the way that they do lighting on characters in the second Horizon game in Forbidden West is god awful ugly. I think it looks like complete crap. So, and they brought that design into the PS5 like redo of Horizon Zero Dawn. So now it looks like crap to me. But what's even worse is they had a certain composition where they had like there was a scene, for example, where they had they have characters in shadow, right? And it's like it's supposed to it has a certain kind of feel to it, a certain kind of vibe. And it's like, no, we have to make everything lit up. So every character has a halo around them. Like it looks like they greased in oil. And it's like they completely ruin the light composition of the scene to make it work.
Absolutely.
It just
I completely agree.
and then but then it's like Rost wasn't doesn't really have is not in the second game. Maybe spoilers. The game is actually pretty old. Sorry, guys. But it's like he doesn't have a model for the new games, so they had to make a new model, and they didn't even make the new model compatible with the light. Like he looks different. His hair color's different, and he's like, it isn't even the lighting doesn't even work the same on him as it does everyone else.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? Why?
The most annoying part about that whole thing to me is that's the version that's going to be played the most going forward, because that's what people will automatically think, oh, that's the PS5 version, that's obviously the best version, and that's the one that's perpetually going to be ported going forward, and the one that's going to be played going forward. And that's why I got so mad when they released Jack in the state they did on the PS Store originally. That's what fucking really grinded my gears about it, because like, this is the version that we're going to be using now, and I'm so happy they're fucking mitigating that and like putting better versions up.
I still really like the complete and total chaos of it, but I admit that is kind of this terrible state for the game to be in. Like if OpenGoal wants to do that with their games and make that kind of broken stuff, I'd love to see it. But who's to say that could even? I don't know how they fucked it up. So like if you have to figure out how they screwed up in order to recreate that. But yeah, and it's funny is like now Horizon for the PS4 version and Horizon for the PS5 version are both playable on PC, which is even more redundant than it was before.
It's crazy.
So you can have Horizon. You can play Horizon on PS5 and PC in two different ways, and you can play it on the PS4. There's 5 different ways to play it, at least.
2017. It's nearly a 10-year-old game, actually. I was about to say, for a game that
it still holds up.
It looks amazing. It's one of the best looking games ever made, still to this day.
I mean, PS1 games hold up in my opinion, so take my opinion with a grain of salt, I guess.
No, but I mean, they do, because they're fucking artistically designed with a specific art style in mind. Like, the good ones do hold up. Play a fucking Crash game, play a Spyro game. They look delicious. I'd eat them on a plate.
Nah, sorry. They're PS1. I only play PS5 games. Game.
You give me a lot of clipping material here, Clippy.
Character. It's just complete character assassination.
Basically, the character assassination of MatianBlobfish, as I'll call you.
Oh, yeah.
This is a complete tangent I'm about to go on here. It's not to do with really the physical debate, but
sure. Okay.
Art styles of games I'm very worried about going forward. When we look back on these games and like they're all hyper realistic, they're gonna look like absolute shit.
I think we've reached a point where realism, you can't make it look any. I feel like, okay, this might be a bit of a controversial take, but I think realism is at a point where it doesn't need to look any better, because I feel like it will hold up anyway. So I feel like all of this extra like work they're putting into it is just redundant.
I completely agree. I think if they do continue to do these little tweaks, though, like over time, this is going to look like the leap will be significant in about 20 years. And then when you look back at the PS5 games, they're all going to look like shit. And that's kind of already happened with PS3 games. If you look back at PS3, like character models and stuff, they all look kind of goofy. As opposed to like the PS5 models we have now.
My biggest issues with PS3 visually is just that I think that the textures, for some reason, they're really blurry. I don't know why. Like a
Yeah,
lot of PS3 games have really blurry textures, and I wish I
yeah.
knew why that happened. But I think it's because I think it might have something to do with the architecture being really weird to work on. Um, because that's my first thought. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't work on PS3. Um, but yeah, obviously if you have a game aesthetically inclined, it will look good. Even like, it will look good if the aesthetic is like people like the aesthetic, they'll still like it in the future.
Hmm.
Um, and I do like what a lot of cartoony games are doing nowadays, where they have a kind of a dry brush feel to it, where you look at the edges of everything, and it's kind of like. And an example of this, actually, a really example of this, there was uh, there's a actually can check this quite quickly, so I will. I think it was Jack and Dexter Reforged. I think it was.
Okay.
Um, and if you have a look at the precursor areas, how the edges look like almost like they kind of like have a painterly kind of dry brush feel to them. I think that looks really good. Um, so I'm happy for that. But it's like that doesn't really that's cartoony. That's not real aesthetically. It's like it's not like you're looking at a person. Oh, it's a person.
Hmm.
It's very clearly like it looks like a model almost. But it looks nice. Of course, doesn't mean it has to be the only kind of art and aesthetic. But I it looks good to me.
Yeah. Yeah, early access for me is like a double-edged sword. I think it's okay for small developers to do who don't have like a QA, who can't do QA, who can't afford to do it. So like, okay, let's get people to actually play it and give me feedback on it. If fucking big publishers do it or big developers do it, I
Yeah.
think it's completely fucking stupid and
If
pointless.
you have the
And
money and resources, yeah,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
completely
It's like
fine.
you're literally fucking, and sometimes they make you pay for it. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and like you pay for a game that is to beta test a game. You're paying to beta test a fucking game, which they are meant to pay people to do. Like it's fucking ridiculous, and I hate that. But
Another
for
game I
small
have to.
devs, it's fine. I don't mind it.
There's another game I have to insult that I like. The series of I like Titan Quest. Titan Quest 2 is doing early access, and they're owned by THQ Nordic. I like. God damn it.
Hmm. Yeah, like why? You have a fucking big publisher there. Like pay for QA. Like I don't know.
And the thing is the game is actually fairly. I think that the game itself is actually pretty good. I think it's just like they don't have all the content there,
Yeah,
and it's almost like one of those things where it's just like we're gonna release the game and then give you a drip feed of content. And it's like you can just like put this stuff in the game, can't you?
exactly. Like I'd much rather fucking
Yeah.
give me a game to play and don't give me fucking don't drip feed me fucking lettuce like I'm a rabbit. You know.
Yeah, it's just giving us a vertical slice. Like
Exactly.
it's like you have an entire cake and we just have like really thin slices and like here's a slice, here's a
Yeah.
slice, here's
Yeah.
a slice. So what do they just want the freaking cake?
Yeah. Exactly. Um, I'm wondering is there anything we disagree on? 'Cause that's more spicy. I want to let's fight, Martian.
Nah, I'm actually a chameleon. I agree with everything everyone says.
Yeah.
Live service. I'm assuming we both agree this is stupid.
As someone of my age and my vintage, anything online after Uncharted 3 to me is just fucking. I am completely not against it. I'm completely out of the loop on it, and I don't give a shit.
When I say
Um,
live service, I mean like the point is it's like supposed to be updated over and over and over again.
oh, go fuck yourself.
Um,
Give me a fucking game.
so like if you want to be very like, and I'm probably going to get people are going to be disagreeing with me on this, but it's like I think it would be fair to consider World of Warcraft in this kind of category. It's probably like before the term was coined.
Yeah.
But really, you think of stuff like Destiny 2, you think of like Overwatch, sorry, 2. Um, you think of those kind of games. You think
Yeah,
of Fortnite, and it's like I can't get into that.
I agree. I can't either. I agree, but I do see why people would enjoy that. I do see like if you like, it's kind of like a cozy. Like we play Jack 2 over and over again because we're fucking autistic, right? But
I play Jack 1 over and over
well,
again. I do play Jack 2, but
fair enough. But either
my
way,
autistic game is Jack 1.
like so, like I can't really rag on these people for playing the same game for thousands of hours on end, especially
But
if it's
are they
constantly
playing the same
evolving.
game? But are they playing the same game?
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Like they are, yeah. Well, that's a really good point. I see where you're going now. They are
Because they're not
constantly
playing
changing the
Overwatch 1
game.
anymore. Because they're not playing Overwatch 1 anymore. They're playing Overwatch 2.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's a terrible
Fair
joke,
enough.
sorry. I'll dog on them for as long as I
But
can.
that's the thing, like with these fucking online games as well, is like they add these limited time fucking promotions and add all this new cool
Oh
stuff into the
yeah.
game, and then it's gone forever.
Uh,
It's like,
okay.
what are you
Okay.
doing?
I will defend this game in terms of like its design because I feel like a lot of people have no idea how this game, like anything about this game, really. Like I feel like a lot of people just don't get it, and that's Crash Team Rumble.
Mhm.
It's a very really interesting game, and I think I'll explain it as a team based sports game that integrates platforming in the same way Super Smash Bros. Integrates platforming into a 2D fighter. So it actually is a platformer game, like at
Yeah,
its core. Um, and I think it was really fun. I think its biggest issues were really terrible communication, but also issues with like matchmaking and online because the
yeah.
online was terrible. Try getting a match
Which is
that
kind
and then
which
treat
is
yeah
kind of ridiculous in an online game.
yeah. So the game died obviously,
Yeah,
but it's like I crashed out in that game because I was so sick and tired of the FOMO, and I just completely just dissociated from the game. I think it was around one of the. I think it was around the first. It was around one of the Spyro seasons. There was a few seasons based on Spyro. Um, there's three characters introduced. There was in order. I think it was Ripto, Spyro, and Allura. And I was crashing out around Allura because internet problems were so freaking bad, and the players I was playing against were so much better than me because everyone was abandoning ship. They're
yeah.
just like, I can't even play this.
Crazy.
So I jumped ship. I'm a filthy Coco man. I'm sorry. It's really sucks because the best character in that game. It's not for me. I don't think Coco's the best character. For me, I think Ripperu's the best character. But the tech they have is so focused on having good ping, and I live in a backwater country.
Yeah, yeah.
I live like in the middle of nowhere, so it's just like I just I can't have good ping, so I can't be as fast. And I play them single player because they have like really shitty bots that you can play against, and he has some really smooth movement, like
Mm.
really good. Like, can we have these characters in a Crash game, please? But FOMO killed it for me, and FOMO only happens with constant updates. You can't have FOMO. I mean, you can have a cultural FOMO where it's just like, oh, look, YouTube, everything will be here's the final boss on the thumbnail. But you'll never have a FOMO where it's like you just won't be able to have access to content or won't be able to experience the game.
Hmm.
Like if an online game goes offline, I'm not going to play it with people anymore. I can't unless I play with people who are still playing. In which case, I'm playing with the best players,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna get swiped.
yeah.
I did that with Ratchet 3. I managed to play a game with someone on Ratchet 3's multiplayer, and I got completely floored. I got completely leveled. I didn't get a single point. I lost entirely. Um uh I'm not gonna dox my PlayStation name. But
What is it, Martian? It's okay. I'll cut it out. I promise. I'll definitely remember because I have a great track record for remembering things.
there are multiple ways of thinking about not being able to experience a game, and it's like if it's an online game, even if all the content stays the same, even if nothing changes, like there's also the content isn't just the content. It's not just the contents of the game itself. It's like other elements.
Hmm.
Like if I'm playing an online game and I'm supposed to play against other people, the skill of other people is part of the experience. So if I'm playing a game 10 years after a game came out, I'm playing a different game in the sense that I am not having the same online experience.
Yeah.
I'm playing against people who are better. I'm playing against people who will turn me into who will use me as a spread for their sandwich.
Yeah,
Um, oh, yeah,
Oh, no,
marmalade,
no.
the marmalade.
Oh, God. Oh, and that bombshell, Martian.
Wait, no, and that's like an orange color. Daxter's mark confirmed.
Jesus. I wouldn't put it past him. Oh, well.
Anyone who tries to make the argument seriously, based first of all.
Yeah, I'm happy with this. I think do you have anything else to say, Martian, or are you happy with what we have discussed here on this venture?
I could talk to the heat death of the universe, but it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, that's okay. We can always do a part two. And look, you're welcome anytime you want to talk about anything at all. You know?
I don't need a part two on this because I could have more topics and I could do that in the comments if I need to. But I
Cool.
don't think I'm gonna have enough points. I mean, I can have enough. I can have enough length if I just continuously drone on about unrelated topics.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can seriously create another. I can't be part of something this long and stick to on script as
Cool.
much as I have.
Fair. All right. Well, thank you, Martian. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see you next time.